Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Classic Reddit, where real humans read Reddit content. Today's Ask Reddit question is, what is the best advice that you have ever received? The first reply by FLV08KL. Don't believe in things because they sound good, or they are convenient to believe in. The truth has no obligation to the beautiful or convenient. I needed to hear this. Thank you. I got friend dumped by my best friend of 15 years about a month ago. I'll try to live by this one, even though it's hard. My older brother once told me, after I had vented about another failing relationship, if you have a problem in your relationship and you haven't told your partner, it's a you problem. It really forced me to work on communicating better, and also knowing when to call time in general. Only take advice from people who have what you want. Helped me find actual mentors and got me reading things that would actually help me. Oh, I agree with that so much. My mom told me something like that, actually. I think that's one of the most stick with me things my mom ever communicated to me. And she had some phrase, and the gist of it was that when someone gives you advice, look at who's talking. And if you like the person who's giving the advice, if you want to be like the way they are, then you should listen and maybe do it. But if you don't like the way they are, then you should just be polite. Great advice. When people learn I've been financially successful, they either want to tell me about their business idea or ask me how I did it so they can do it too. Almost universally, they don't actually listen to me. They're too excited to talk about themselves and their big plans. I'm very willing to give people advice, but in 2 or 3 years, I've yet to meet someone who actually listens. These days, in real life, I do everything I can to suggest I'm not wealthy, so people don't pitch me their shitty business ideas and ignore me when I offer feedback. To those saying they want my advice, I'll put some together. However, general how to get rich advice is all over the internet, and if you think it's bad, that's probably because it's too vague or not applicable to what you want to do. My advice is not very useful if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, but pretty useful to entrepreneurs in tech or marketing. You're better off finding people in a field that interests you. If there are none, that's a field for you. If it's not a field for you, if you want to get wealthy, emulate them. Getting their advice. Come to people with ideas and give them something to work with and listen. Take advice from those who have failed, not those who have succeeded. Knowing what could make you fail is far more important. The money you save buying bad food will later be spent on hospital bill. Serbian dude in grocery store when my family first came to America. Yes, America. The place that combines extremely unhealthy cheap food with extremely expensive healthcare. There are such things as food deserts, though. Places where it's harder to get nutritious meals. Unprocessed, healthy, fresh food with no preservatives often equals to spoils quickly and needs time to cook, can even be expensive. For middle to upper class, that's doable, but when you're overworked and living paycheck to paycheck, you buy cheap, long-lasting stuff. It's that or nothing. Act broke to stay rich. My wife and I do okay for ourselves. We live in a nice neighborhood, and our neighbors drive fancy cars and seem really wealthy. Then, when we talk to them more, we find out they have no savings. Don't stay up late to do anything you wouldn't get up early to do. Posted while I watch YouTube at 4 a.m. First time I ever played Skyrim, I stayed up till 4 a.m. playing it. Then I woke up at 8 a.m. to continue playing it. It may not have been the best decision, but I followed this advice. Right, I hate getting up early. There are very few things I would get up early to do, but playing games can be one of them. Another response to what's the best advice you've ever received? The acid of bitterness eats the container that holds it. I never learned anything when I was talking. You cannot change the past, but you can ruin a perfectly good present by worrying about the future. Life becomes easier when you learn to accept the apology you never got. Cutting people out of your life doesn't mean you hate them. It simply means you respect yourself. Not everyone is meant to stay. You really need to know a person, inside and out, to be in love with them. If you're filling in blanks, it's likely infatuation. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. I've never heard the one about accepting the apology you never got, but I need to. Actually, you learn a lot while talking, especially if you're teaching something to someone else. A grand post by Toilet Queef. As a perfectionist, who also procrastinates, yeah, I know, it's really difficult for me to do an assignment if I know I won't be doing it perfectly or on my exact terms. Due to the corner I back myself into most times, I don't always have the time to submit the work that I feel reflects my true potential, and I get so overwhelmed that I don't want to do it at all. I had someone tell me it's better to get a decent grade, like an 8 out of 10, rather than submit nothing, get 0, if that makes sense. Get the credit and make the best with the time you have left, otherwise you'll regret the 0 just because you wanted a 10. I don't know if anyone else had this particular struggle or needs to hear this, but yeah, it's helped me anytime I felt like giving up. I know this advice is don't let perfect get in the way of good. It means work on producing a good, finished artifact rather than unchasing unrealistic goals of perfection. Yeah, I relate. Although I learned not to give a fuck about trying to be perfect or presenting myself to look perfect because all in all, people really don't pay as much attention as we think they do. Especially in school when everyone goes through the same struggles and teachers forget or don't even care. I'm a lot like you. My cousin once told me I should do something badly first and then improve on it. Obviously this doesn't always work. This was advice given to me to start writing. But I have since used this advice many times to get my life in order. Start with a bad job, then change to a better one. Clean your room a bit, then perfect it. Eat a bit better today, but do your perfect but less tasty diet tomorrow. Get up at 9 a.m. first, then slowly inch toward your desired 6-7 a.m. time. Do any workout first and not too often or hard, then scale it up. That's pretty solid advice. Yeah, I had a boss who once said to me, go for the 80-20 rule, and seeing the puzzled look I gave him, explains the Pareto principle to me. I still really struggle with this, to be honest. Pareto principle? What's that? If you know what that is, comment, tell me, because I can't Google it right now. This has helped me a lot lately. Better to half-ass something than to not do it at all. The story of my life! Anything worth doing is worth half-assing. As strange as the phrasing sounds, it's how I saw it. If you know you gotta, but you can't do it perfect, 50% is better than 0. 100% is great, but sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes, almost always you can't do that. If you can do, all you can do is half-ass or quarter-ass or even 10th-ass, do it. It's infinitely better than not doing it at all. Listen more than you speak. My dad used to say, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in proportion. Great advice. Talk less, smile more. Don't let them know you're against or what you're for. You don't have to be stupid to do dumb things. We all screw up from time to time, but that's not a reflection on your intellect. Be an adult about it, acknowledge your error as necessary, correct it, learn from it. If you're worried about people judging you for screwing up, they're probably paying a lot less attention to you than you think. And chances are they either didn't notice or didn't care. I was told in high school to take the honors chemistry class instead of the regular one. I did not believe in myself and did not think I'd be able to handle an honors course, but it was one of my best decisions. Turns out the regular chem teacher was horrible. Half the class dropped and failed, and everyone else was scrapped. They scraped by with C's or B's. There wasn't a single A. My honors teacher was so genuinely loved teaching and cared so much. It was such a special experience because it's hard to find teachers like that in high school. Good criticism is just another form of advice, while bad criticism is utterly worthless and should be ignored. Learn to tell the difference. You know, no one really knows what they're doing in their job. The closer you get to the roles at the top, the more you see that everyone is still making their best guess. Instead of worrying about making the right call 100% of the time, procrastinating on decisions, get better at failing, moving forward from it. My grandfather, whose family fled Italy during World War II, used to say, "People don't fear pain, they fear the thought of being pain." This comment is simple but applies to many aspects in life, personal and professional. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time, effort, and attention. If you are interested in making these kind of videos, please reach out to us. Go to our YouTube page, click About, and then get our email. Say hello, and we want to set up a Zoom call with you. We are making software where you screen record and you browse and you find stuff that you want to read and react to. Your voice makes it your own, and that's how you run your YouTube channel. If that sounds cool to you, give us a holler. Come check us out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.